So what you're telling me is that you sort of want to enter a bodybuilding event, but you're not sure because you've never done it before and you have no idea what you're doing? Well, neither do I, so let's do it. Yeah, no, seriously, if I let not knowing what I were doing stop me from doing anything, I wouldn't ever do anything. Hey everybody, just me again, Wayne. And if you watched the last video, you know that I've been considering competing in a bodybuilding event, and I've decided I'm going to do it. Now, it's not the event that I thought I was going to compete in. I've chosen one that's about 4 weeks later than that to give myself a little more time to prepare. And as I go through this preparation, I'm going to keep a vlog. I hate that word, it sounds so stupid. A vlog of the things that I'm learning and doing or trying to do and going through on the way to the event. And we're going to start out with self-assessment. First thing that you need to do is, if you've never done this before, if you have no idea what you're doing, admit it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to be making this up as I go along, more or less. Now, if you're thinking about doing the same thing, I urge you do your research, right? Go online, read books, reach out to trustworthy friends who have done this before and who do know what they're talking about. By the way, alphabetically, Doug, Max, Steve. Yeah, this means I'm going to be sending you some emails real soon. So yeah, admit that you don't know what you're talking about. Admit you don't know what you're doing. And proceed from there. Now, this doesn't mean that, that we have to pretend that we're idiots. Okay? It just means admitting when we don't know something. And that's kind of difficult for a lot of people. It really is. I've never understood why. Something to do with our American national culture. We treat not knowing something like a crime. And what's that expression? Ignorance of the law is no excuse? The hell it's not. Ethically, it's a real good excuse. But anyway, that's a whole different topic. But I'm admitting I don't know what I'm doing. So I am researching like a fiend. And as I said, I'm going to be reaching out to the friends that I know who have in fact done this before. Okay. So, there is some cognitive self-assessment of knowledge. Now it's time for, and I think this might be even more important, emotional self-assessment. By emotional self-assessment, primarily I mean two things. One, think about what you're going to be doing. Now, if you have trouble dealing with crowds, you have trouble being in front of a bunch of people, then you really should consider whether you're going to be able to stand up in front of a bunch of strangers, essentially wearing a pair of panties and all greased up, which wouldn't be much more comfortable than standing in front of a bunch of people that you know wearing a pair of panties and all greased up. But anyway, if that's a thing that bothers you, then you're going to have to work on that, right? You're going to have to work on the idea that, you're not going to be dressed any differently than the other people that are on stage with you, okay? So that's part of the experience. Now, for some people, that still might be a big old hurdle mentally they need to overcome. And, that's okay. We've all got hurdles to overcome. So if you think you're going to have any trouble standing in front of strangers in your skivvies, basically, and I know they're posing trunks or board shorts or whatever those little thongs are, but let's face it, they're just like underwear. If you think you're going to have trouble with that, work to get over it. Practice. Next time you go to the grocery store, just go in your underwear. Get some experience in, being among crowds of people dressed just in your shorts. And some experience dealing with the security personnel as they hustle you out of the store. Okay, that might not be the best idea, but you know what I'm saying. The other big piece of emotional self-assessment I think that everyone should do is be prepared to come in dead last. Whether there are 20 competitors in your division or class or whatever, or 15 or 10 or 5 or 2, including you, be prepared to finish last. Now, obviously, I think we want to do as well as we can. I certainly do. But at the same time, I fully expect to finish last. And if I do, I'm okay with that. Let me quote my friend Doug Brignoli. Sure, a trophy is nice, but isn't it better to do it for yourself, regardless of how you place? Doesn't it make more sense to approach such an experience saying, I'm going to see how much better physically I can make myself between now and the contest date? Doesn't that make more sense than saying to oneself, by gosh, I'm going to see if I can be better than a bunch of other dudes that I don't know at this particular place on this particular date? I think the first way is probably better. So, do it for yourself. Do it because it's a goal that you're setting. For me, it's kind of a bucket list thing. I have always wanted to have a physique that, well, I was going to say I'd always wanted to have a physique that would enable me to compete in bodybuilding contests. But no, actually, I've always wanted to have a physique like a superhero. My son and I went and saw the first Captain America movie here several years ago. On the way out, he said, makes me want to go to the gym. I said, yeah, me too. So now, I'm keenly aware I do not have a superheroic physique. But in 4 months from the day I'm taping this, yeah, you can tell I'm old. 4 months from the day I'm recording this video, hopefully I'll be closer, right? And for me, if I can get up on stage and just not feel like a complete dumbass, that will be great. It's my friend Max Carlisle, Guitar Max. Check out his YouTube channel, both of them. As Max said, just showing up is a victory. I believe it. So, if you're not prepared to come in dead last, don't sign up. Because you know who dislikes a sore loser more than even the people around him or her? The sore loser, him or herself. Okay, so that if you're going to come in last and then just be a big pussy about it, of whatever gender, don't sign up. Okay, I think I've been as frank as I can, as repetitive as I can about that point. So, moving on from there. There are dozens of organizations that, and I'm just talking in the United States, that sponsor bodybuilding contests. Although many of those organizations also have, are international, actually. So they sponsor contests in the U.S. and around the globe. And many of these organizations on their websites, at least most of the ones that I have looked at, have sections dedicated to educating the novice competitor, or the novice participant, I should say, in a bodybuilding competition. And I'm using the word bodybuilding, right? That's the word I'm going to use through probably the whole series, but that's a catch-all term because we know that the actual individual contests, one sort of contest is called bodybuilding. Then there's physique, classic physique, fitness. For women, there's bikini, figure, fitness, I don't know, whatever else. There's even a transformation category in a couple of the contests that I was considering, which I think is pretty cool. So anyway, but I'm just going to use bodybuilding as a catch-all term. So when I say that, you know that I mean whichever of those categories you're going to participate in. Where the hell was I? Oh yeah, many of the organizations that put on bodybuilding events have places on their websites dedicated to educating novice participants. There's one in particular, I can't remember which one it is. I don't know. I'll have to go find out. But it has a very, very lengthy section dedicated to talking about, okay, so you've never done this before? Well, fantastic. Welcome to the sport. And it talks about everything from what poses are mandatory for that particular association or federation or galactic empire or, whatever that one's called. Everything from that to, booking a hotel, bringing your own sheets to the hotel so your tan doesn't come off on the hotel sheets and you have to buy them. And it's just really cool. So do that. Go to those places and educate yourself. And I'm sure there are probably books as well. In fact, I know there are books as well. I have several of them that talk about this. And actually, I'm going to talk about books dedicated to bodybuilding and strength training in some future video, just for the heck of it. We've talked about cognitive self-assessment, right? Admitting what we don't know, admitting that we don't know what we don't know. We've talked about mental self-assessment, or emotional, I should say. Can I get up in front of people and do this? And am I prepared to finish last? So next, obviously, is physical self-assessment. One thing you need to do, and you need to do it right now, take pictures of yourself. I saw one place online that said taking your right now pictures, and just stand in your underwear or, whatever, so that you're approximating what you will be wearing when you're in the contest. The thing that I read said, don't flex, don't pose, just stand there with your arms at your side. I don't think that's very good advice, actually, because I don't think there are any events in which the judges say, okay, y'all just, relax, hang out, and everybody goes like this. Well, actually, judges do say relax, but when they say relax, everybody goes. So by relax, they mean something different than what you or I generally mean when we use the term relax. Instead of taking the photos of yourself just standing there not doing anything, strike a pose, if I can borrow a phrase. Go to the website of whatever association is hosting the event that you think you're going to compete in, and they will almost certainly have a list of the mandatory poses. These are the ones that you will absolutely have to know because you'll have to perform them. And pick a few, and you don't have to, just pick, 4. Strike a pose to get a good picture of yourself from the front, from each side, and from the back. Like in front, maybe you'll do double biceps or asymmetrical double biceps. From the side, triceps maybe, or chest. From the back, I don't know, the archer pose maybe. And there's all kinds of poses. And most of these organizations have several poses. Most of their poses are the same poses that all the other places require too. Okay, now there are some variations, and some require more than others. One association I was looking at had, for its contest, 19 mandatory poses, and that's not counting quarter turns. And I thought, shit, that's a lot. I think the contest that actually I'm going to enter has 8. I like 8 better than 19. So we'll talk more about that in a future video. So strike those poses, take pictures of yourself, and then be honest. How much progress do you have to make by the date of the event? Now, if you look at those photos and you go, damn, I'm looking good, fantastic. If you look at the photos and go, damn, I got a lot of progress to make, that's still fantastic, because if you look at the photos and you realize you've got more progress you need to make than you thought, great. That means that you have that much more incentive, and you will have that much more betterment of your physique completed, or at least underway. So great. Either way you look at it, it's a win. Okay, last thing for this introductory video thing here. do these things, do the mental, the emotional, and the physical self-assessment, and do your research, right? Some of it anyway, before spending any money. Don't send in a contest registration fee. Don't join an association or a federation or whatever the hell they're called until you've done these things and said to yourself, yeah, I think I will actually do this. So, because, once you send in your money, it's gone. They don't refund that. So, do the thinking before you send in the money. And don't worry, after you send in the money, you'll have a lot more thinking to do. I certainly do. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate it. If you liked it, hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up. Please make a comment. Even a negative comment helps my algorithms, I'm told. And we're all ruled by the algorithms these days. And, by all means, spread the word. Share this video. If you liked it, you know somebody else who is into bodybuilding and they're thinking about getting into bodybuilding and they're thinking about competing. Say, hey, check out this video. This guy's going to make a whole series of videos about how he embarrasses the hell out of himself by getting into his first bodybuilding event. Hey, if nothing else, it should be worth a few chuckles. Okay, and maybe we'll even learn something along the way. Thanks again, y'all. You guys are awesome. Guys of all genders. Talk to you soon.